us a bit, how did you get into the yurt building business?
Travelling around America, of all places. America has the most fantastic youth hosteling system. A lot of private youth hostels, and they're a lot of fun to stay in. And having stayed in youth hostels here, I realised that the ones here are not quite so much fun. So I was looking at ways to start a youth hostel, and this was an affordable way of putting up structures. I came up here to learn off of somebody who was already on this site, and ultimately enjoyed making them more than the idea of starting up another business.
Have you gone round yourself first? I have gone round myself.
And then you put your left hand underneath here.
Yeah.
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 And you pull and push at the same time. There we go. Yeah. Right, and then just push that way. Okay. That's it. Morning. Walk along the bottom of the woods, and I'll just keep scanning for the correct tree until I see one that's going to do me for the day.
What would you be looking for?
Straight-ish, and size, probably around about that sort of size. Yeah. It's one of the lovely things about working for yourself is that you've got a slightly more understanding boss than most people.
Or not.
Or not, sometimes. It's the truth, yeah. We all have our days. It's one of the pluses, again, of working with trees that haven't been planted as part of a plantation and grown to be as straight as possible. And they've just been left to run wild. Right. The shapes that you get are much more interesting. And it's one of the things that makes the yurts that I make a little bit different, is that I started to incorporate that into it. Right. So the yurts have branches coming out of them that you can hang things on, and right. There's a stronger feeling of it being something that's come out of a piece of woodland, right. You know, rather than just manufactured. Yeah. And there's a lovely mix of trees here. I mean, there's something very magical about the yew trees, even though the way they actually survive is quite aggressive. It has, yes, that's much better.
Is that right? Does it falls over like that? Is that right?
That's lovely.
Right,
cool.
Put a hand underneath there and go underneath there, and you lift.
Nope.
And you pull at the same time, right?
Is that what you've been doing on all of them?
What?
Across the top, not underneath.
This one, what about this one? It just doesn't feel, there's a kink on it.
There is a kink.
That's close.
Is that closer?
Well, if you look,
yeah. I think it initially said that side, but I'm not sure.
you can see as you put it across,
Yeah.
it's making pressure lower down on the left and higher up on the right, isn't it?
Right. Smell very good. No, not so bad.
With a bit of luck. 43 foot 10. 43 foot 9, that's not bad, is it?
43.
Oh,
we're
Hang on, you're around there, look.
And
Look, you're around there.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh.
Oh, look at
Oh my word, that's perfect.
that. It is perfect.
That is fantastic.
Cool.
Matt, you are a star and no mistake.
Oh, it's nice that it's worked, that's for sure.
It's just brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah. I don't know, I would imagine as far as man hours goes, it's probably close to 200.
So what, you're just doing it in it, or are you taking it down and put it back up there?
No, it's going to come down and it's going to be used for events that they have on, whatever that might be. So if they're going out into public.
It's all strings, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basically bits of wood tied together with bits of string. That's it. And yet that'll stand up in a 30-40 mile an hour wind quite comfortably with the cover on it.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It'll stand up a lot better than any tent you'd
film
buy. Yeah. You're on telly.
Are you?
No, but close.
Damn.
It was almost your moment.
It does look nice.
There you go. Brilliant. Okay.
So yeah, I like to think of it as a travelling art gallery. Because it does, once you know what you're doing, it doesn't take that long to erect. I love it. Fabulous.
Yeah, I did the marching against the BNP back in the day, and went on the peace marches before the government went into the Gulf for a second time, and did all of that, and did it for the best of reasons. But you know, I'm almost 50 now, and I'm starting to think about just enjoying my life, and being a bit quieter. I think it does bring up an interesting point, which is that the more nomadic you are in your soul, the more you're able to adapt to a change in your surroundings. So I could take what I do in particular almost anywhere. So I can move on. I mean, like, my entire infrastructure, my workshop, could be packed up and put into a van in 2 days. And I could move on to another part of the country. And I think that degree of independence and mobility means that you're less inclined towards fighting for the piece of land that you're stood on. But I think also in a spiritual way, it's something that you don't have to. I live in a flat. I live in a flat in town, but I'm quite nomadic in my soul, so I tend to move from one career to another. I have low attention span for one way of life. Having said that, I've been working with yurts for 10 years, but the beauty of yurts is that you can put in whatever you like into the yurt, so you are nomadic.